streaming. All right. And we're live.
We are.
Probably.
My son announced to me today that he told me after Star Wars Celebration that, I asked him, like, wasn't that cool seeing Daddy up on stage? He's like, I think it was kind of boring. Like, okay, wow, cool, thanks. And today he brought it back up and he's like, it wasn't bad. So, glowing review there.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
Winning a tough crowd on that one.
Yeah. Do.
Oh, right. Look who crept into my frame here.
Who dat?
Little Ahsoka.
Oh, yeah.
Little Ahsoka pop there. I just moved her because I kept knocking her over, but I like her there.
Okay.
Did you do your challenges today, Mr. Hallisey?
I did your challenges today, sir.
Oh, good. Someone did. I think I missed most of them last week. So
what's our episode number this week? Is 153?
154.
Okay.
$154 episodes of this.
Which, frankly, is baffling to me.
A little bit. It's a little crazy. Hey, I mean, not that this game has so much content. It's not baffling that someone could put together 154 episodes. It's more baffling that you and I have shown up 154 times, approximately.
I'm not gonna argue with that. Oh, damn. Mm-hmm. So I, for some reason, when I was going back and forth to Chicago so many times the last couple months, I was looking through like old music I had in my Google Play library.
Oh yeah.
And for some reason, hey CB, what's up? I came across Tenacious D, the album from like whatever 2000.
Yeah.
Like it's good.
It is. It's great. And you know what I have just recently discovered about that album is just how similar thematically, like as far as musical themes, Wonder Boy is to the beginning of Wonder Boy and the beginning of Let It Go from Frozen. It's like the same feel. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Sorry, I'm very familiar with both of these songs, so I'm considering this idea.
Yeah, listen to Let It Go and just think Wonder Boy, and it's amazing.
The snow glows white on the mountain tonight.
Castle made of clouds.
That you can't mix those two up.
I just did.
Are you sure it's not because the music video has snow? Is that what you're thinking of? No, I see what you're saying.
Oh, does it?
It does. I think so.
I haven't seen that video in so long. That's Dave Grohl playing the devil, right?
That is tribute, sir.
Oh, that's tribute. You're right. Yep.
And he also reprised that.
I've never seen the Wonder Boy video.
It's fine. It's fine.
Don't drop what you're doing.
Yeah, but there's so many good songs on the album. Like Dio is just a jam. Yes. Double Team City is Hall, just great. City Hall is of course great, but songs like what's it called? The Road. Dude, it's just a good song. Like, it's funny, of course, but like legitimately, it's good music. Yeah. So yeah, I
introduced my 5-year-old son to Ronnie James Dio this week, and he dug it. He really dug it. It's like, all right, buddy, you're the only kid at school that's listening to Dio. I guarantee you that.
I listen to I have a whatever, a radio mix on my Google Play where it's called Trip Hop Instrumental. So, okay. Chill electronic beats, no words, it's good. Sure. It's great when I'm just kind of, relaxing. And I had it on in the car one day when I picked up Vivian from school. She's like, what's this? There's no words. I'm like, yeah, it's just, cool music. And she's like, all right. She was in the back like, okay. The next day, she was like, hey, Dad, how about the music that didn't have any words? I'm like, well, there's a lot, but sure. Yeah. It's good. I actually get one of my coworkers put it on at work at one point. Nightmare on Wax.
Okay.
It's that genre, and yeah, I just enjoy it. Chilling.
I also, I don't think it was the same day, but on the way home from daycare, my daughter, who's 2, she likes to label things like, this is my chair, this is Daddy's chair. Sure. She likes to just point out like whose what thing is. And we listened to some song, I think something from Moana, and
that's a banger of an album too.
Song. Oh yeah, it is, absolutely. She said, this is my song. I'm like, cool, you know. And then we listened to another one, and she said, this is Daddy's song. And I said, yeah, sure. And right as we were just about to get home, just randomly, my phone pulls up Depeche Mode, Policy of Truth.
Okay.
And she's like, this is our song. Yes.
That's good.
I mean, that's a great song. Okay. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
We also have the thing, like my daughter is super into musicals.
I don't know where she gets that.
Well, sure. But like she likes to listen to the actual albums too, like the cast recordings.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like we've listened, we watched Rent live when it was on TV because the language was all censored, and we were like, cool, that's fine.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so I mean, it's still thematically pretty mature, but a lot of that just.
I was about to say, yeah, like how much.
But a lot. She enjoyed the general story, you know, and we had to, of course, explain. She's like, "What does slitting your wrist in the bathroom mean?" I'm like, "Well, okay,
yeah."
But you know, it's fine. We try and not shelter her too much. But anyway, I don't have the live cast recording, right? The one from TV in my library. I have the original Broadway cast recording.
Oh yeah.
You know, resplendent with F-bombs and everything. And I just put it on. It's, I don't know if there's just a disconnect. She doesn't care. Yeah. She's never repeated anything.
I used to do that with my kids, but like now that they're old enough to understand the words and what some of that stuff means.
Yeah.
Like I used to do that with Hamilton. They do all the music from Hamilton. They didn't know any of the words because it didn't make sense to them, you know. But
yeah. No, I mean, we had the discussion of these are words adults use sometimes, and they're not like bad, but you still shouldn't use them. Mm-hmm. And I get irritated because they're bad words. They're just words, man. They're not like inherently evil.
Yeah, I'm of two minds there. Yeah,
it's like I don't want them saying it, but at the same point,
so easy before I was a parent. I was like, I'll let my kids say whatever. I don't care. But like, yeah,
if it in a vacuum, I wouldn't care, right? Because like I said, there's nothing like wrong about words, but
right, yeah. Oh, I still feel that way, but
I don't want to deal with everybody else.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. All right. I already got the meta report pulled up here. I got my grinding all set.
Oof. Good.
Yeah, we got a lot. We got good chit chat on this stuff. I don't think we really need to put anything else on here. Do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think we can talk about this.
Wonder Boy, what is the secret of your power?
That's like my absolute go-to with karaoke.
No, this is true, I suppose.
I don't care where I am. I can get into that song. I
don't know how we still haven't done karaoke the last several times we've gotten together, but
I know, it's kind of crazy.
Most songs people don't do justice to in karaoke. It's kind of the nature of the beast, right? Mm-hmm. But I find that people who do Tenacious D songs, generally speaking, I'm so mad about how they're doing them as I'm sitting in my chair.
Like, yes, like the big one that everyone does, right? That say on a family-friendly show. Almost everyone I've ever seen do it, I'm like,
You're so flat. Get animated. You gotta.
Yes. You can't. You can't. Yeah. You can't give a half performance of that, so to speak. You really got to do the thing.
We're on YouTube now. We're not recording for the show, so you can say half-assed.
That's true. I suppose that's true. See, I was even tiptoeing around that.
You can say ass. Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes. Let's see.
I think we should make a new segment called The Salt Pile to talk about what everybody's yelling about for some reason or another.
I could contribute to that tonight.
I know, that's what reminded me of it. All right. There we go. Our connection just went goofy. It's all right. OBS got it back together. I'm curious what's going to show.
Boshuda, fellow Hollow Table Hustlers, you're tuned in to Radio Free Tatooine's Galactic War Report, a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast that's better than some and worse than others. I'm Sean, aka The Other Sean, and sitting across the Hollow Table from me is John, aka The Uncanny Mr. H.
And I am just basking in the glow of my favorite event we've ever had in Galaxy of Heroes.
You stop. That's going to be the theme tonight. John gloating and me telling him to stop. Padmé. Padmé is the big news, right? And it had launched last week. We're going to be talking about it a lot this week because we've had a week to play the event and lament.
I did not.
I've had plenty of
You had a
time
full week to play it, though.
I've spent it appropriately lamenting. Yeah, it was a big week. We've got that. We've got some Grand Arena shenanigans going on. We will definitely talk about that now that it's a cat that has just exploded out of a bag. And then I want to, sometimes we kind of skip over this, but I definitely want to at least briefly touch on the meta report tonight because there's some fun info in there. So that's the show. It's the Padmé show, man. The Padmé show. Presented by Galactic War Report. So first, I do want to point out, last week we asked people to change their profile picture in game to Chewbacca's portrait, and that was awesome. A lot of people on our leaderboard did that, and I mean, most days you would go in and you'd have to scroll down a bit before you'd even see someone that didn't have Chewbacca on there,
right? Which
was really cool. That thank you to everyone who did that. It warmed my heart, I guess is the phrase. It is very cool. Capital Games did a kind of similar thing, releasing a new portrait of Chewbacca, and it's cool. I'm seeing that was just released today or yesterday, I'm seeing that all over the place too. So I know it's like a small little gesture for the impact that this man's life had on our hobby and our lives, really, but that's really cool. And it also came with the title of, I believe it's Loyal Friend, which is fun because every title that you have is like Fight Me or like, Sith, I forget, like Dark Side Historian, but they're all like kind of intimidating names. And then there's Loyal Friend, which I'm not scary.
I'm gonna go put that on my profile. It says Fuzzy Buddy.
Right. So yes, and we got some new patrons last week. That's always good to see. People are enjoying the show, I guess, after 153 of them in the can.
I mean, we talked about it before, but it's interesting that when we gain patrons, I always wonder, because our listener base by the numbers is very static, right? Like we don't
revolving door.
I guess it's just interesting because we don't really like our audience is roughly the same size as it has been for a good long while.
Yes.
So
Yes.
especially like the listeners who just decided to ante up, or did we actually snag some new listeners somehow? I don't know. It's interesting to me.
No, I think we've got a good, consistent listener base. I love interacting with you guys, and if if you listen to the show and you are not a patron, by no means do you have to be a patron. But if you have the extra money laying around, we'll take it. It gets you into our Discord server, and we do a little chat before the show most weeks, like voice chat with people. So yeah, you can check us out on patreon.com/Radio Free Tatooine. That's our blurb. We're done talking about us.
Well,
Let's talk about.
It's interesting because there are people who have these Patreons who say, you should make your Discord server free, right? You get more people in there, they'll talk, then eventually they might give. And it's like, I don't know what else we would be able to give away for $1 though.
Well, there's that, and you see how that works out with Twitter's free.
Yeah.
You see how that works out, right?
we do have people tell us, like, because our server is, like, it's active, but it's not super active, right? Like, you get some chatter on there, but it's not insane. But everybody's like super reasonable.
Yeah, I'm like probably the saltiest guy on there.
Yeah.
One of them. Yeah, it is though. It's a very level-headed community that most people appreciate that about it. That it's like, people love the game and they love talking about it, but come what may, it's never. I don't think we've ever had any drama in our server at all.
In our RFT server, no.
No, our guild server had all the drama.
For us, it's been a lot.
It's been a while too, but yeah. So yes, so thank you everyone. That's super appreciated. Let's talk about this game.
Okay.
May the 4th, we got some bonus stuff. That was awesome. We got 20 Zeta mats. John, what'd you do with them?
I put them on my burgeoning Galactic or Grand Republic team. Galactic Republic.
Yeah, I know. I keep wanting to call it Grand Republic.
I know. Yeah, I don't know specifically where those 20 went, but I dropped 4 Zetas on that team. Whether it's advised or not remains to be seen. Mm-hmm. But I had 3 saved up. That 20 put me to a 4th one, and so now I got 2 on Padmé, 1 on Anakin, and 1 on Snips.
Nice.
I did not do the one on Kenobi.
Sure.
I like it, but I don't know if I need. Yeah. I don't know if I need it though.
I think I'm certain that I will.
Yeah.
Someday.
So
but yeah, I don't know how quickly.
Where did yours go? The free one?
Actually went to Padmé. Technically, because I had built up just enough Zetas and Omegas during the event to give General Grievous his unique Zeta, which I had to do to clear the event. Right. So that put me like broke on both of them. And they gave me the 20 Zeta mats, and I was like, hey, that's great. Got no Omegas. So I finally got my 10 Omegas built up today and did Padmé's leadership.
Okay.
So, which it's gonna be some time before I get my full use out of that. You know what I mean? But I do kind of look forward to it. I came real close to dropping it on the old Jedi Knight Revan because he's looking at me like, Sean, we had a deal.
It's like, Sean,
what am I not doing for you?
That's immediate gratification.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know. Sometimes I like to just make decisions with my heart instead of my brain.
I don't know about that. I've never experienced that. Who are you running in Arena right now? Are you still running CLS?
Yeah, it's the best I got.
I know. I found the heap of, the husks of all the other CLS teams down where I'm at in Arena.
Yeah, I fall out of the top 100. And if I actually do all my matches, I can get into the top 50 usually.
I can't come close to that even because Grievous gets targeted and dropped. My scoundrels can't win against Revan.
Mm-hmm.
And like my Night Sisters can't get anywhere. So I got a lot of eggs in this Galactic Republic basket that better pan out, or I mean, before it was bad at Arena, right? But
yeah,
I'm doing bad
I think,
at Arena.
I think it will pan out. I think it will pan out, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
A little later. But so that was the May the 4th thing. I want to talk for a moment about the Grand Arena issue.
It's not just Grand Arena, first off, but
right. That's where it was kind of first blew up as a Darth microtransaction. Relatively new YouTuber. He's been on my radar just the last couple months, I guess. Not a game changer, but he puts out a lot of videos, and he's really blown up. But he posted this thing, and it's almost like a it's odd because this video comes out and it's basically saying there's this giant exploit that you can cheat and like use all your best mods on every squad in Grand Arena. And that's not the intention of Grand Arena at all. There's a roster lock. It's supposed to lock your mods.
Yeah.
I guess if you do, I'm not going to get into great detail on it because I want to cover it, but I also don't want to just give like the, anarchist cookbook or something like that on our show. But I mean, basically there's this exploit and he's tested it. Other people have reached out and said, yep, we know about this. This is, here's another video of this in action. Comparing speeds is the easiest way to prove that it's happening.
Yeah.
So anyways, like this kind of comes out and CG's like, hey, yeah, we were trying to be kind of hush about the thing. Because we just didn't want to put the info out there, but now it's out of the bag. So we're working on it. So their official statement is that they're going to be rolling out a fix, but it requires an actual app update.
Right. Not just in-game data.
Out. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be tied to the release of the new territory battle or the Grand Arena Championships. So sit tight and don't do it. is basically where we're at. I mean, it's a shady tactic, anyways. Even if they didn't say you could be banned for it, it's just it's bad sportsmanship.
Well, what's interesting about it is like apparently this was kind of I don't want to say an open secret, but it wasn't like nobody knew about this.
Right? Yeah.
I didn't know about this, but we also don't run in
remember seeing.
Really?
Yeah, it was brought up in our Game Changer.
See, program. I saw it in there, but I thought that was just somebody
information is out on the internet that was brought up, so I'm not leaking anything.
Yeah, no, I thought that was just when I saw that in there, it was like one specific circumstance. 1 second, dog, you're in a dog bed. What are you digging for? There's nothing.
Get to the bottom of the dog bed.
You going to a dog bed in China? What are you doing? Sorry. So yeah, I didn't realize it was like a widespread thing.
Yeah, although I didn't realize it spread into territory war as well.
Right, and we're happy to blame every loss our guild has had in territory war on it.
Yeah,
and are going to. We are now voiding out all of our losses.
For the record, this win that we just had is not because of it, but our losses.
Correct.
Definitely were.
Yeah. Somebody said that now other people are afraid to use the exploit we won a territory war.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, who knows? But it definitely does put a damper on it. You're like, man, how do they have so much in the tank still? Oh, wait a minute, maybe they were cheating.
Yeah, there was some kind of miscommunication or bad info, I guess, out there for a while on exactly what the response was before they posted this.
Yeah.
But basically, they said if you, because it's totally feasible that you could stumble onto doing this, and I probably have, because I changed my teams up pretty regularly for territory or
right.
for Grand Arena.
There's always a Grand Arena or a territory war going on these days, and you move mods around. That's just normal.
Yeah. And it has to do with setting the squads too. So if you set the squads, then they get the updated mods.
I don't know.
So like, I mean, new character comes out, right? Padmé comes out, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna like make a squad for this and all these other things. So I've probably done it. I mean, I lose almost every single match of Grand Arena, so this is not like a strategy. It's probably something I stumbled onto. I said if they see that, you're fine. But it's easy for them to tell if you're doing this for every match. They have all the data on all the things, right? So they can tell who's doing this. And if you do it once, if they see that you are abusing this, looks like it's going to be a warning. If they see it again, you are permanently banned. Don't get permanently banned. That's no fun for anyone. So I mean, going back to the,
I don't know, permanently banning a chronic cheater sounds like it's not a bad idea to me.
Yeah, well, the perfect solution is don't cheat. If people just don't cheat, then cool. I want people playing it.
Counterpoint program, make your program good enough people can't cheat. Which sure, it's not my fault there's an exploit.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many times have we seen that? That's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah. That stuff doesn't fly, man. Capital Games does not like you doing odd business in their app. So just play the game. Play it right.
You play to win the game.
Also, you're just being a tool.
Also true.
That's no fun. All right. So the other big thing here is Padmé Amidalas. Let's talk about what we have, how our lives have changed over the last week.
I'm well preserved from the amount of salt that I have experienced on the internet.
I am the salt shaker.
Obviously, you had a vastly different experience than I did.
Right.
Obviously, we had vastly different levels of preparation for this event.
Yes. Yep. Going into it, you were pretty much set,
Yeah. Like I said,
did you even move mods for it, or you just kind of went in and took care of business?
I think I went and just I think I might have moved one or two. I made sure that Grievous had the most current, best health mods I had. But I mean, other than that, no. Like I said, I think it was maybe 25 attempts at most to get 7. Because I only did it a few times before I got home that day, and then I got it when we were on air that night. So because it was the night it launched.
I saw a lot of reports of like 300 to 400 attempts. I saw one on the official forums that I want to say, I mean, he was claiming it was like 2,000 attempts or something. And I'm like, how are you tracking these numbers? Who sits there and tracks how many times they get Fishman?
And again, people can say what they're going to say, but Capital Games has all the data, right? So,
which they're looking at too. Yeah. They're looking at how many attempts this took, and because here's the thing, like we've been talking about this in our guild, right? There's people who are fine with the event, and there's people who hated the event. I was one who hated it. I did not like this event.
Well, but again, here's my question: is did you not like the event because the mechanics of the event were bad, or did you not like the event because you didn't have the right team and gear for it?
No, I honestly, I'm very confident in that, and I mentioned this on Discord that I felt like so my team was not as tuned as yours, but I was looking at reports of like what's it take to beat this, and I had what it takes, right? I'm looking at my team, and I'm like, I've definitely got the tools at my disposal. But one of the issues, well, actually, let me backtrack for a second. The reason that I'm confident that I wasn't just biased because I couldn't beat it was that both Revan events I couldn't beat. Malik I couldn't. It's going to be a year at least before I can even participate in that. Probably well over a year before I can participate in that. And I didn't really care because I understand the situation. Like, all right, I don't have Jolie ready. I'm sitting out. Cool. That's fine. This is an amazing character and I'm missing out on a part of the game, but it's my choices led me here. Cool. I'll get there someday. And now I have Revan and I'm glad I have him, but you know, I understand that. With this, it was a little different in that I had worked on some characters. I worked on the ones that I thought would be the most helpful. And once it started, like I said, I saw other reports of what it takes to beat the match, to beat the event. And I'm talking about 7-star, right?
Yeah, so, sure.
Even, I mean, 5-star, that was kind of a tough fight going from 4 to 5. 6-star was like, okay, my eyes are open now. And then 7, not fun.
I mean, I beat 6 on my first try.
Right, and again, you've got a different
so
a tool at your disposal.
Do you feel like this was more punishing as far as RNG and event design versus 3PO or Chewie?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
See,
I just 3PO was that. 3PO, I had Gear 11 Ewoks and 1 Zeta. That was not. I didn't.
But you had low gray though.
Yeah, sure.
And
yeah, I mean, there's a little different requirement where. Well, I don't think it is different. No, because with this, there were characters you needed to. It wasn't like take your 5 coolest separatists in. Like,
but there's also like 12 separatists, right? I mean, there's more separatists than there are Ewoks. There are more separatists than there are bounty hunters, right? Inevitably, you're gonna have people who have the wrong mix.
Sure. But okay, so to get to my main point though, the thing that frustrated me the most was that I did not feel like I was having any fun because I would go in and get completely destroyed.
Sure.
And in the past, like you would get destroyed and you're like, okay, well, what happened there? And you analyze what you did and what they did, and etc. And with this, you could not come up with a solid strategy because it was obscenely random. Where one match you do pretty well the first few turns, the next match they just all team up and completely wipe Grievous after he's only taken 1 turn, or you know, like the not just the mechanics, which the mechanics like that Fishman rezzing everything was just, I'm sorry, it's just not fun to see that happen.
Okay.
And I get that it's a preventable thing, right? I mean, like there's challenges baked into all this. It's not just like the game dumping on you. Like there's challenge baked into it. But the complaint primarily from me was that I have all these tools. I go in there and it's so unpredictable that like I'm getting demolished by this event where I have Gear 12 Zeta characters, a couple Gear 11s, but the rest are Gear 12 Zetas, really good mods. And it was still, it wasn't like it took me several attempts. I mean, I played a lot. I was up very late last night, finally beating this. So I just felt like it was tuned. It was just too much. I think it went too far in what it was asking out of commitment of players' wills. Because I finally beat the thing, and I've seen this sentiment, you know, in several different places that like I beat it. I still don't feel good about it. Like I have the thing, and I'm glad I have the thing, but I'm just exhausted.
Sure. And I kind of joked about this a little bit online this week, but I feel like everybody's getting a taste of my experience with the game.
Because with the past 4 years.
Well, because I mean, generally speaking, it's like, oh, you didn't grind this exact thing because you decided to kind of stray from what was, I want to say advertised, but and you're just gonna run your head into a brick wall, right? Like I still don't have Ray J, I don't have Revan, obviously, but like you're talking about with the AI just decided to annihilate the one character from your team immediately, dude. That's every arena match I've had for the last 7 months since Revan showed up, right? All of a sudden they'll just be like, oh, this one character, doesn't matter, you're behind 3 taunts into stealth, oh, they're all dead. And it's like, it's random which of the 5 characters they pick to do that. I just don't think it's unique to this game mode. I think just everybody went in woefully underprepared.
That's a point. I mean, the one thing as far as preparedness that I would say is I haven't seen an event, a legendary event. I mean, Malik was definitely different, right?
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
That's its own thing, and that's, I mean, they've even said that's supposed to be like a stretch goal, you know, like that's a real long-term kind of thing. And I'm fine with that, but a legendary event where you can have the best team, like the best 5 characters that theory crafters have come up with. You have that team. They're gear 12. You have the Zetas. You have the mods. You go in there and you get slapped around. We haven't seen that. I mean, you could talk about how hard the Chewbacca event was, and it was hard, and especially the requirement with Dengar. Like, if you don't have Dengar, bye-bye. We'll see.
Or Bosk. I went without Bosk the first time, and I.
Same here, yeah. Well, I had Bosk, but I didn't have him to 7 stars. So
right.
The thing. But when you have the premier team and it's still just a massive pain, it's like just
see.
That's a big frustration for me.
Were you getting close before you got it done?
A couple times. I mean, I could reliably wipe Padmé out, but then Anakin would do his little maneuver that would just like, okay, well, 4 of you are dead. Oh, neat. Or 3 of you, I guess, usually. But
right.
You know, and I mean, it's crowd control. It's whatever. I don't want to harp on it too much because I mean, the events.
No, but I think it's an important question of how we interact with the content, because it's not going to get easier.
Right, and that's seeing this. That's why I you know, said anything at all about this. I mean, I usually try to, like, at least in public, but like before and after the show, I'll gripe about whatever's on my mind. But you know, I mean, on the show, I try to just like, let's talk about the game. Let's talk about how to achieve goals in the game. What we're working on, not like be petty about things. Well, and so I try to check myself, and I have a tendency to just go off the deep end when I'm in an emotional state, and then 10 minutes later I'm like, I'm sorry guys, I'm just upset, you know. But with this one, I felt like it was worth speaking up and just saying, I don't like this. I don't want more of this.
See, it's funny because I have to. There's a couple of propositions I have to consider. One being that I did have a better team than most did going into this. I mean, that's a given. Sure. Which is an unusual situation to find myself in.
Right.
I mean, it's with the rest of the world saying it's super RNG based, and I did not experience that. Which means either people are experiencing their own anecdotal evidence and interpreting it, or I just happen to get really good RNG out of the gates.
That's what I was going to say.
Right, and maybe
RNG based, some people aren't going to notice that.
Now, that being said, anytime people don't have good success in this game, it's generally the fault of RNG, or at least
that's the blame falls.
Right. That's where that's code for I couldn't do it.
Agreed.
Conversely, I enjoyed this event a lot in that there was a mechanic to it, right? Like when I had the Ewok event in 3PO, it's just, well, you got to find a way to hit harder than they do. You know, there wasn't
Yeah.
like a strat to it. Like this, having to try and keep protection up off of them, because if they didn't, then they're immune to everything, and then they get courage, and then
Yeah.
they're going to smack you for a bunch. So there
I
was
found it interesting that the mechanic, the strategy, because I mentioned the strategy was tough, but there were a few things that were agreed upon. One is the person who the event is supposed to kind of highlight is the person, just kill them, get them out of the equation.
well,
Like,
but that's
we
good,
didn't see
right?
much out of Padme because, yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny. It was like, get her out of here, and then the match really
Well,
starts.
right, kill her because Fish Guy can't res her. Kill Fish Guy, then Anakin, then the other two.
See, I did eventually my game plan that worked. I don't remember exactly how the last time, but it was kill Padme, then kill Anakin. Just because you can't have him taking any turns.
Well,
So
sure, then
kill him,
you better hope that you kill Fish Guy
stunlock
real
that
fast.
fish man.
Mm.
I'd stun him with Asajj, or who else stuns? Grievous.
Let's say
stuns.
with Asajj, you're taking RNG into your own hands with that one.
Yeah,
she's got a 50% chance to stun with that and like a bad potency.
So I mean, I did what I could. It was sloppy, but I targeted Anakin second because I just could not afford to have him doing things.
Yeah, and again, that could be my gear level enabled me to be able to soak one of those big hits as long as he wasn't stacked up with courage.
Yeah,
I mean, if he had a couple stacks of courage on him, you were donezo. Or I should say at least 5.
So one thing, I don't want to be like Mr. Upsetty Spaghetti tonight.
Sure.
So I do want to point out one thing that I do enjoy about this.
Okay.
Is that coming out of this, my separatists are in so much better shape
for the new territory
battle.
Sure.
So I do appreciate that this new territory battle is coming, and it's like, I mean, we all knew it was going to be separatists. They've announced for a while that it's going to be separatists, or I'm sorry, dark side Geonosian territory battle. So obviously separatists make sense, right? So I've been singing the praises of the bugs, which ended up I was one of those guys that used Poggle in this.
Yeah.
I was so glad I had a good Poggle, which it turns out you don't really need a good Poggle. You just need him to survive for one turn. Exactly.
You need a Poggle. Yeah, and that is interesting because I don't have that benefit because the separatists I worked on were the right ones. So I didn't have to put any work into my bugs. So mine are still very bad.
Yeah.
But no, like it's just hard because like I said, I know I unlocked it the first, within 8 hours, right, including everything else going on. So it wasn't like I was really banging my head against this event. And then over the next 6 days, I on the internet and I was like, just guys, it's just constant. Like I haven't seen this level of salt. It is.
I've never felt this way about the game.
Yeah, which it's hard for me honest. Because I liked it. I enjoyed it. And it's hard to not start to try and feel defensive about it because you're like, this is the one thing I've enjoyed, like the first legendary event I've enjoyed in. Yeah. I can't. I don't remember the last time.
That's an interesting take.
Right, I know I'm in the minority, but
it makes sense though.
Not to mention, it's rare that I get to show up and be like, "Hey, I got this team that's really good, that's appropriate for the event," and I was able to complete it. The last time, honestly, was probably when I was the only one clearing the probe droid event, or in the dark side territory battle.
Oh yeah.
That was probably the last time where it's like strutting in for that, and even.
I got this.
Yeah,
Mr. H is in that build.
Well, because everybody got it in their inbox too then, right? Like, hey, Mr. H completed the event. It's just like, here's 20 guild event tokens.
He's the only person. Yeah. I still can't complete that.
We don't have a ton. We've got like, what, 8 to 10 people who do it reliably?
Yeah, something like that. I can do much better lately than I used to do. I can make it out of the first wave.
Yeah. So. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, it's hard to not for me to not try to defend the event,
yeah,
and because I don't want to discount people who like I understand you smashed your face against this brick wall for a week, and
that's what it boils down to. It's hard to quantify exactly what it is, but when you play it for a couple hours and then you're just pissed, like that's that's my experience. Like, how do I exactly explain that? I don't know.
No, I get it.
Like
Yeah.
I try to figure out what it is about it, but I just leave the event in a bad mood.
But here's the other thing to consider. I mean, I don't know if maybe our guild is atypical in this. You had a really hard time with it, and you got her to 7 stars.
Yes, I did.
What
did it cost?
Yeah, everything. Our fellow guild member Slakey had a lot of trouble with it. Got her to 7 stars. We had a number of people in our guild who were like having a really hard time, but we, everybody came together. We coaxed each other through getting through 5 stars for a lot of folks. Fewer obviously to 7 stars, but a lot of people as we worked through the week. Cooler heads prevailed, and obviously perseverance because you nerds didn't give up. But
I'll tell you one thing that so I did it last night. Like, yeah. I mean, the final few hours, right?
Right. You had Europe blasting the final countdown on a loop for 4 hours.
And so incidentally, to veer off topic just for a moment, last night was the final night for Fortnite Season 8.
More like Fortnite.
Complete your challenges. And I'm like a completionist, so I had to do it. So I had to stay up banging my head against 2 different walls. Just back and forth. And by the time I went to bed, it was just like, I don't want to play a video game for another...
If it makes you feel any better, I went to play 40K last night and got annihilated. So I too was losing last night.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I definitely had Padmé a week ago, but
yeah, that's true. So anyways, yeah, I do, like I said, I appreciate that my separatists are good, and General Grievous is a fun character to play, and I wouldn't know that without those med packs on him. You know what I mean?
He's an interesting character.
There is a silver lining.
Yeah,
definitely a silver lining, and I think it's a useful squad. I mean, my Grievous got a lot of work. My B2 got some work done. My Magna Guard was trash going into this, and
you know why? Everybody's
not
was
perfect
because not everybody was like I rolled in with a Gear 12 Magna Guard before he got a rework by like 6 months.
Yeah, and that made all the difference.
I mean, it didn't hurt.
What team did you actually beat it with?
Grievous, B2, Magna Guard, Ventress, and Dooku.
Okay.
Because it's funny.
Grievous lead.
Yeah, I tried Ventress once or twice, but with her turn meter not working against them, her turn meter reduction, it was kind of like
I ended up winning with Ventress lead.
Well, what's funny is when they announced the territory battle, I was like, you know what, I should put some of my work into Dooku. He's going to be useful. So I don't want to say on a whim, but it was like whatever. I'll gear up Dooku. And so I got into Gear 12 maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And it's like, it's good because he was the 5th separatist I had at Gear 12. Like, I didn't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
Except for I went hard at the new droids, and I didn't get anywhere close to having them ready. But it's funny.
Droideka made it much easier.
Well, Droideka is an amazing... I've been singing the praise of Droideka for a while. It's a weird kit, and I love it. And there wasn't a lot of dispels on the other team, which is always what screws up Droideka.
Yeah, there isn't any. I don't believe.
I think Mace has it with his special. But you know what? You don't know for sure because no one knows what Mace's kit is anymore because nobody's used it in so long.
And this was not a standard Mace. This was like an event Mace that had some different.
Shatterpoint was a thing. Right? Isn't that still a thing that's actually in his kit?
Shatterpoint is a thing, but again, no one knows what.
Right. The first time I saw that, I was like,
pretty sure it
I was like, is that
I'm so not confident in my answer now.
Is that a special event thing? I was like, no, Mace has it all the time.
Mace?
Anyway. What even is a Mace?
Who let this guy in? Fishman let him in.
No, Shatterpoint's not a thing. He does expose regularly. Where have we seen Shatterpoint before then? Because we've seen it before.
He had an ability called Shatterpoint, but it's not an actual debuff.
Yeah. Right.
Thought.
My guess is we actually saw the reworked Mace and didn't know it.
Yeah. Maybe. So yeah, that was my experience with Padmé.
We definitely had we diverged for sure.
Yeah, definitely. After all that, unlocking her, I feel like in memoriam of all the Magna Guards, all the Poggles, all the B2s that I watched just get massacred, I have to use this Padmé for good.
Sure.
Because it was a lot of work. So I guess I'm all in on the Galactic Republic train now.
Toot toot.
Toot toot. Now, you've been kind of experimenting with this. You got these Zetas applied. Have you been playing with them in Arena? Or...
Yes.
Okay.
Because I can't possibly do any worse.
Sure. You were running Scoundrels before? Or
I've gone back and forth.
Droids?
I was doing... Okay. Grievous was doing, bad, but okay. But now he has trouble with CLS teams because of all the countering.
Yeah.
And as those have been falling by the wayside, they end up in the trash heap with me, and then I dropped even further because I don't always do all my attempts anyway, because I feel a deep sense of ennui about Arena very often these days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was running between either my Grievous droids or Scoundrels, depending on the day. But yeah, I've been running Galactic Republic now only for a day or two, because it was very bad. We'll get to it when we get to the grinding part, but
yeah. Well, let's get out of this Padmé mindset for a moment and do some meta report.
A pad mindset? A pad mindset.
Amidalas?
Okay. So
it's time for the meta report, the part of the show where we look at the trending characters that number one ranked players are using on their squads to help you see where to put your resources for the best ROI. Data is pulled weekly from our friends over at swgoh.gg and is based on reporting from over 7,000 first place teams. John, how many thousand Darth Revens do you have for us this week?
Hang on 1 second here. I'm gonna do a little quick math that I should have done previously. Why is my calculator on my screen so giant? Because John doesn't want to do mental math at the moment. That's the old pepper. Okay. So we had 3 IG-88 teams, 4 Grievous teams, 4 Traya teams, 9 Bastila teams, 10 Talzin teams, 21 Padmé teams, 23 Palpatines, and 45 CLS teams. So of the 7,200 teams surveyed for this, 119 were not a Revan of some kind. Yeah.
Now I like to point out that you started with that IG-88 team. If you go 2 down on the report, you get Kira, which 2 people did it.
Yeah.
And the next one is C-3PO.
Cup is tied with Karth, Chirpa, Night Sister Zombie, which was a hot minute, was a counter.
Yeah.
So Darth Revan is at the top, was 86%, and then Jedi Knight with 12, CLS with 1, and then that list of also rans going from none to it's insane. For the character side, I mean, no one's gonna be surprised by any of this, right? I mean, it's
right.
Fallen Bastila, Darth Revan, Sith Trooper, HK, and Malik, all kind of in a 87 to 74 range. I mean, that's the big team. And then, Grandmaster Yoda, Jedi Revan, Jolie, Bastila, and Kenobi, and that's it.
That's your team.
That's it. That's the tweet.
Yes.
So of note is the 21 Padmé teams, I think, So there weren't a lot of people who unlocked her comparatively. We know that, right? Or we should say we anecdotally know that.
Sure, from our guild's numbers,
Well,
the
and from
unlock is
and from the Game Changers Discord, there are a lot of the Game Changers that didn't get her to 7 stars too, right?
yeah, that's true.
So I don't know about a lot. It's a more significant amount than most of these event characters. Yeah. So I don't know if that low number reflects how soon it is after she's been released. Is it that she doesn't stack up as well against Darth Revan as we all thought she might?
I think that's it. Personally,
that wouldn't shock me. Or is it the people just haven't gotten around to using her yet?
Yeah.
Or if it's just fewer people have her. I don't know. We're going to have to wait probably a week or two to really let this bear out a little bit. But it's a matter of win rate as opposed to percentage, because it could be a matter of availability rather than a matter of ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think she will climb. We'll see her climb a little bit. I mean, there's nowhere to go but up from your 0%, right?
That's my philosophy in Arena right now.
But yeah, I think she'll climb. We look at the team that she kind of exists with, and it's her, Anakin, Ahsoka, and General Kenobi, and then that fifth slot kind of there's a few different options for that.
Yeah.
And I think as that becomes a little more concise, a little more of a feel for who the optimal spot is for defense, maybe.
We'll see what the group comes up with as the best fifth slot.
Right. Yeah. And I think there's, we mentioned it last week of who that could be, and you've got R2 and 3PO, both make sense. You've got
obvious
Yoda,
choice.
You've got Ayla. Those are the most obvious ones to me. You said that you've been playing with Qui-Gon.
I have.
The fifth slot, just because he's there.
Because I have him. But also, the more I've used him, one, he calls an assist, which if it's Ahsoka, is great, because then she'll assist the second time because of her special.
Yeah.
Or her Zeta. He has a dispel, which there's not a ton of on that team. And he's a Jedi, which means when Kenobi calls his mass assist, he's going to come.
Does Ahsoka still dispel on?
Yeah, she does.
On her special? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
But still not a lot, yeah.
I mean, compared to how things are nowadays, These days. So it's been good. I think that Master Yoda would probably be pretty insane on there. Mine is
all around best, yeah.
Mine is very bad, and that's probably something I should fix. But
I've got a pretty darn good Yoda. I should be taking him up to gear 12 within a day or two.
Yeah, like I briefly considered doing something like 5s, because if I understand how the ability will trigger, because I know with First Order Stormtrooper, he has the ability, whenever he uses any ability, to call an assist, right, from somebody else.
Yes.
It's not a 100% chance, but he has like a 60% chance, something like that. It's a great ability. So 5s has a 100% counter chance. That's an ability. So does that mean that we'll call Ahsoka every time he counters? I don't think
so, because he just does a basic.
But it's a special that triggers. No, it's a unique that triggers.
Yeah.
That might be what the difference is.
Special involved.
I'd have to look at the exact wording. I was just kind of pondering it earlier, but
yeah, it's an interesting thought that would have been great for it.
What was it? What if it was actually existed?
Yeah. If you didn't just make that crap up, that would have been great.
Let's see. Yeah, his tactical awareness is a unique, so that probably is not going to trigger.
Yeah.
Ahsoka. Well, the thing is too,
the interesting thing here is, like, we're talking about this slot, but I mean, there's room for more than one here, because you look at what works in Arena. I think Grandmaster Yoda seems like the shoe-in. He's just too useful. He hits too hard. You can't deny that that's a great pick. But you also look at, in something like Territory Wars, do you want to pull your Grandmaster Yoda off your Revan team?
Yes.
Maybe it makes more sense to pull R2 or 3PO. Now I used them both on a CLS, so maybe Ayla is the right fit. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's an argument for a lot of these different characters on depending on the game mode and the rest of your teams that you have.
I think for me, as a Revanless person, I think that Yoda would probably be a best fit. And again, because Ahsoka hits so hard under a Grand Republic leader, you want her because she assists when anybody uses a special, and Yoda has like 2 or 3 specials, doesn't he? He's Battle Imitation and what's the other one?
He has 3 specials, yeah.
Right, so you can trigger those more often because he has more to use. They won't be on cooldown.
And his AOE loads his turn meter up, so he's going.
Yeah.
Is it a bonus turn or a turn meter gain?
It's turn meter gain, so he won't get it underneath.
Underneath
Padmé.
That would be a no. Still a great character.
Master Stroke. No,
honestly,
no. It says Grandmaster Yoda gains an immediate bonus turn as long as there's one other living Jedi. So yeah, that works still.
Okay, good. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it's the optimal build is going to have, those 4, and I would say probably Yoda for a universal best team. But man, 3PO gets some work done.
True.
R2 with his offense boost to Galactic Republic, man, you feed Anakin a little more offense and Snips some more offense.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, that's worth noting. So, yeah, it kind of depends, and for me, I haven't played around with it that much because like the rest of the team is in pretty good shape for me, but my Padmé is at that gear 8 gear lock, and that's just kind of scary to use her.
It's right. You have a passable arena ranking. Mine is trash, so I don't mind just seeing what it's got.
Yeah, throw it in there, and yeah.
Right. And that,
what am I giving up? Like,
I think that gear 8 lock is an important thing.
Yeah.
But we've strayed a little bit, so I think that maybe we should just cut to the chase and find out who you're grinding.
Oh my. Well, there have been some changes in Sean Land.
Okay.
We'll start with shards here. That's mostly the same. Karth and B1 are getting my ship energy again, now that I don't have to spend it on med pack salvage.
Yeah.
So they're back in the swing of things. Rose and Django still getting the normal energy, the hard, basic, whatever.
Yeah.
Pumpkin spice energy. And then I finished Aura Singh, so now I'm on to Sith Marauder because he's a much more useful character for people who have Darth Revan, which I'm not those people, but
not yet.
Long term, he's a more useful character.
Yeah.
For gear, I'm doing this Galactic Republic thing, so
you're doing that,
I'm
Padmé.
about to take Yoda to 12, and Kenobi's already maxed on gear, so that'll be a nice little combo.
Yeah.
And then Anakin and Ahsoka are going to be a little work, but it's and then of course Padmé, I got to get the new gear, and that's no small undertaking.
Yeah.
For ships, I'm working on them bugs.
Might as well, right?
The Geos, trying to at least get their the abilities of theirs that enhance each other, because that's what really makes them fire, kind of.
Right.
So I'm working on that. My next Zeta, probably going to be more Galactic Republic. I'm thinking Ahsoka probably gets the next one. I don't know. I'll balance it out. I've got
hers is good. It's very good.
It's enticing. It looks like one that I want, because on the, like I said, the optimal team right now, I've got Grandmaster Yoda's unique, and I've got Padmé's leadership. So I think the next best is probably going to be Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Padmé's other one's pretty nice too, I think. But that's who I'm grinding.
Yeah.
For a much more colorful story, let's ask, who are you grinding?
Well, I was going hard at the new droids last week because I thought it would make my life easier with the Padmé event. But once I cleared the Padmé event, I realized that the Galactic Republic team is going to be a better arena viable team. So while I still desperately want to work on my new droids, I'm trying to get my arena in order because it hasn't been anything but terrible for a very long time at this point. So, right. Unfortunately,
you even remember what time your payout is? Like,
okay. Now that's just mean. I know because my phone tells me I have bonus energy. Thank you very much.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
No, actually, funny today. It was like 6:57, and I was like, because I was still trying out this team, and I was like, it's not gonna make a difference in my payout, but I'm still gonna do my last match. And I finished, and like my phone said it was 7, but I hadn't gotten the notification yet. I was like, did I go through? But it didn't. It didn't counter for the pay. It didn't matter. It didn't matter for my payout.
I never get those buzzer beaters to go off in time.
So, but I had like a 4-star Anakin. Like I had not done anything with Anakin.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
So I have been hammering Anakin over the last
week. Cantina?
No, he has one hard node.
Okay.
So I've been doing that generally with a refresh every day. And then as much Cantina as I can throw at it. I bought that stupid $15 pack for the 50 shards, which was dumb because it was for a Cantina character. But at the same time,
but you want it.
The heart wants what the heart wants, and he adds to the bill. So I'm at like 40 of 100 right now. Like I've got him. I mean, considering where I was at a week ago, I feel pretty good about where I've gotten. And so I still got everything's going into his shards, everything I can. Any energy, regular energy I have left after that goes into energy for the new Padmé gear, because you need 50 of each of the new pieces, or salvage for the new piece. I'm about halfway on one. If I hadn't spent money on Anakin and like other stuff for my droids recently, I would drop the $20, which would get you enough crystals for the pieces you would need to do both of those, right? Because it's 1,400 for the full 50, so it's like 2,800, which is around what you get for $20.
Yeah, somewhere that's real close. Yeah.
So it's tempting. It's very tempting.
I would be tempted also, but I ended up spending some fliff on General Grievous to get his gear.
Fliff?
Yeah, just a little fliff. Little,
I see.
That works on the live stream. That's why you got to be here for the live stream.
Yeah. So I want to do that, but so I'm throwing what I can at it for that gear. Like I said, I'm halfway. I have like 27 of 50 for one of them. Because I've been crystal poor. I blew all my crystals. I'm not getting anything from arena payouts, obviously.
Right.
So
I've been very busy, so my arena rank has just been abysmal the last few days too, and that hasn't helped.
Right. So I got that going. I still at my Ahsoka was not great. She's one piece away from gear 11 at this point.
Hey, mine too. Gold eyeball?
I don't even know. I'd have to look.
Probably.
So basically, I'm panicking and getting the rest of the Grand Republic team, Galactic Republic team that everybody else already had by and large. And they can just slot Padmé in there, and I'm sitting here running around chicken with my head cut off, trying to catch up.
You got a 7-star Padmé, you might as well take that advantage, for what it is.
Right. That's exactly. And like I said with the droids, like I put the droids on hold because I want them, but I need to get my arena in order. And same thing with Bastila and Old Man Han. Like I'm close with Old Man Han to be just being done, right? And I can be done with it.
Yeah.
But I got things to do. I mean, Ray J is not going to significantly affect my game if I unlock her tomorrow, you know?
No, sadly, I mean, one of the best uses for her is in the Sith raid, but
I don't do that
without
business.
right, exactly, without having like a lights out Grievous, or not Grievous, wow, got Grievous on the mind, Revan team, like that's where you get your big points, is with the Jedi Knight Revan.
I don't have the luxury
So
with my PvP is in such disarray that I don't have the luxury of like, oh, I want to work on this one character for a raid that we've had on a farm for a year, you know?
yeah, you finally have a chance to do well in arena.
Maybe we're not gonna have time to get
one Padmé in our top 50.
Yeah,
which is as many. I saw there was, when I checked it today, there was one Padmé, one Palpatine, I think 3 Jedi Knight Revans, and then the rest was all Darth Revan in the top 50.
we don't have time to get into it tonight, but there is a pretty rough hard counter to the Padmé team with some old Empire characters.
Yeah,
Which is fine that there is one, because if you try and pull that mess in PvP, you're gonna drop so hard from everybody else whooping you that you're not even gonna know what hit you. But in Galactic Republic, Grand Arena, and Territory War, it could be nice.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. I want to give credit to a couple folks here that Arnold T. I never know when I'm saying it out loud.
Arnold or Arnold?
Arnold.
He spells it with an H.
To go with Arnold, to go with Arnold, or to go with Arnold. But you know who he is. Yeah. He posted the video with the Empire counter.
He was the first one I saw.
Also, today I saw it actually posted a couple days ago, but McMole 2 put up a video about how